Well, welcome back to our next episode. We're here in the deal room talking about technology acquisitions and due diligence during technology acquisitions, specifically tech DD. A lot of folks think that, technology is really a tick in a box of, yes, we've checked some licensing and we've done a few other bits and pieces, but we'll focus a lot of the time on finance, legal, HR, all of those other work streams. But technology due diligence is not only about the source code and looking at that, but it rolls into a lot of those other work streams.
Yeah, so I think what's going to come through as we explore this, Adam, is it's one of many streams, that there's a crossover in and a crossover out of a tech DD work stream. We find out about the people, we find out about the culture, we find out about what makes the place tick. We validate customer success is out there. The claimed evidence around customer success gets proven out. We look at the asset, we explore the source code and the architecture, the product possibilities, and really evidence behind the claims. As we do this, we reveal a lot about management culture. Are they open? Can they share? And can they work cooperatively? Can they move out of startup mode? Or if they're a standalone company, can they adopt some of the practices or work hand in hand with another management team? We've seen reverse takeovers, so sometimes the talent being acquired is going to lead an entire division or line of business. So we help reveal this information, share it with the leaders of the other work streams, and make sure that, that little technical voice, it's certainly not a tick in the box, gets amplified where it needs to, where it can be a profound, potentially showstopper item.
Yeah, look, and in many ways, the technology due diligence is very much about the core of what the company is actually doing. Technology runs all of our world, and the legal and financial streams are vitally important because they're focusing on making sure the company is legitimate, compliant, and all of those sorts of things. But that's typically not why you buy a company. You don't buy it because its accounts are compliant. You buy it because it does something and it will do something for your organisation. And that's why, and you go down this path, make sure you understand why. Start with why. Why do you want to buy this? Have clarity about why you are going down this path. Do you want it for people? Do you want it for market share? Do you want it as a business as a going concern? And that's very much understanding that is so important because it determines, what's something that could be considered bad and a showstopper under one sort of rationale as to why you're doing this becomes a minor issue in another, and vice versa.
So Andrew, let me interrupt you for a sec. So what on that why, what if a company is concerned about revenue only or primarily driven by revenue, right? And they go and look to acquire a technology that's selling really well, huge customer base, very popular. Why bother going down the path of technical due diligence if that's the main focus?
Yeah, look, on the surface, all may be well. Once again, on the surface.
Yeah.
So the company they're obviously got this revenue, they're able to serve their customers, but does that actually match entirely what you want? And are they able to do that in the future? We may find as we dig deeper that this company, they're unable to evolve or update or maintain what they've got, so they can't respond to market needs. It may be incredibly difficult to actually do anything. And the team and the people behind it all may be caretakers who are able to keep things going, but they can't actually do anything. So that means you are unable to adapt to the market as it changes.
And if on top of that revenue, you're paying at a high multiple,
right,
that implies a growth curve. So when we talk about exploring, and the deal thesis may indeed be a 10x growth path, X being the number of customers being served today, 10x, 10 times that. And some of our clients are looking at achieving that, or sometimes 100x type of assessment. So we're looking for scalability. Will it keep performing? Can they onboard these new customers? Maybe they've got where they are by basically taking the core R&D teams and using those folks, out of position, and they're busy sort of hand over hand bringing on board these customers, and maybe that hockey stick does look fantastic. What the diligence will do is reveal what's inside the machine, what's happening. Is it a clean, well-managed operation that's ready to scale? It's not a rubber stamp or a tick in the box, but a proper appreciation, proper understanding of that.
The tech industry is so hype focused. Getting a clarity of what's truly actually going on, where they are, where they're going to be, is difficult. I mean, we all remember Theranos, which was in the biotech space, which was valued at $10 billion, but it turns out to have been, there was nothing there. It was literally just it was just something that did not exist. So you need to go beyond the PowerPoint to actually work out what's real. And this is important because if you're going to spend all this money on buying a company, make sure that you are able to actually get the return on the investment that you seek.
Let me go back to the two initial work streams you talked about, legal and finance. Now, normally we'll provide information to those folks. They'll base some of their conclusions and evidence on, say, IP ownership, based on findings around contributor histories. Also, any forward valuations in terms of finance is going to be based off an expectation or knowledge that the customers are real, that they're actually there, they have got deployed solutions. And if it's an as a service, we'll be looking at the monitoring dashboards that show the workload on the servers. Or if it's been deployed in the field, we'll be looking at the tickets that have come in that demonstrate that the customers are finding some issues but getting those solved. And all of those things are great proof points for those other work streams as well that will then balance their advice and recommendations to the acquirer in mind with the reality of what they're dealing with.
And when we're talking about tech due diligence, we're really covering the end-to-end gamut of everything technology, right? So we've got, you know, the source code asset, the licensing, the architecture, the way it's tested, the way it's supported, the way it's sold, the way it's packaged. You know, the IT systems within the organisation, sometimes the back office line of business applications as well.
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity is another big one, huge one, security. So it's that whole range of technology that's baked into the company, whether it's from the product or all the way through to the way the business actually operates.
But you don't have much time to do it. So the thing is, you need to have a process. You need to have a project team that is able to get it done in a short amount of time. You've signed up an LOI, letter of intent, and you've got this limited amount of time to get this stuff done. So that's another key factor. You can't just keep working on it until you're done. You're given a time box, come back with material findings. Now, what's material for one deal might not be material for another one. So that's where you have to balance it up.
And that time boxing you mentioned, that's the key element, because I know after I've done some of these and I've spoken, we've had conversations with people wondering, you know, oh, what about this, what about that? We've got to use the judgment to actually make sure that we can reach those material findings in a very short period of time, which, yeah, is that, and that's the art of actually knowing where to dig and what to sort of save for later.
Okay, well, I think we've done that topic well, guys. Next episode, let's talk about pre-deal activities. What we can do before an LOI is signed, what you can do even before you decide on which company you're going to buy. There's a lot of information we find out for our clients and a lot of really powerful things that can be brought to a buyer to really help them shape what type of company or what type of technology they'd like to acquire. So we'll speak to you all soon.